Her brother reprimanded Pauline for posing nude and for riding on the backs of Moors in the park, not to mention the rumors swirling about her romantic conquests. However, Napoleon couldn't stay angry with his sister for long. Pauline Bonaparte, the most beautiful woman in the empire, was his favorite, his adored and devoted friend. And she remained so until the very end. It's hard to imagine that the pampered beauty immortalized by the sculptor Canova as Venus had to wash other people's laundry in her youth. But that was indeed the case. Born at the end of the 18th century in Ajaccio, Marie Paulet, that was her real name, was not accustomed to luxury. The family lived modestly, even in poverty. Her pragmatic mother saved every penny, and if the young daughters wanted anything beyond the basics, they were told to earn it themselves. The future princess took up work as a maid and became quite skilled at handling others' lace. Men began to court Marie Paulet when she was barely 13. At such a young age, she blossomed into an extraordinarily beautiful girl, far surpassing her sisters. Initially, Junot pursued her, but Napoleon did not approve. Then came Frerin, who even asked for her hand in marriage, only to discover that the smitten young man had already made promises to another. The furious Bonaparte family ordered the suitor never to darken their doorstep again. However, the beautiful girl lacked education and polish. So, as soon as Napoleon was able to stand on his own feet, he arranged for his sister to attend a good boarding school. Marie Paulet didn't stay there long, learning little, but she gained the most important thing, the skills of social interaction. She had never been shy around strangers, but now she learned to steer conversations in her favor, developed her manners, and looked no less impressive than other young ladies of noble birth. The family worried about her. She was simply too stunning. Moreover, the fashion of the late 18th century encouraged women to undress rather than dress. The finest dresses, preferably white or very light-colored, were worn without petticoats, and sometimes they even soaked the hems to make the fabric cling to their legs. A young lady in such attire appeared almost naked. Could the beautiful Marie Paulet resist such astonishing trends? Of course not. People began to talk about her as the owner of the most incredible figure in all of France. That's why her brother took her under his wing and moved her to Milan. He was confident that under his watchful eye, Marie Paulet wouldn't get into trouble. Around that time, her name was officially changed to Pauline, and she would be known by that name for the rest of her life. While in Italy, Napoleon decided to marry her off to Charles Victor Emmanuel Leclerc, a general of the Republic. The wedding took place in June, and in April of the following year, Pauline gave birth to a son whose godfather was, of course, Napoleon. The boy was given a trendy triple name, Dermot, paying homage to the popularity of everything ancient, Louis, the most French of names, and Napoleon, in respect to his godfather. General Leclerc was building his career, accompanying Napoleon on the Egyptian campaign and demonstrating excellent leadership skills, while his beautiful wife was left alone. Naturally, Pauline wasn't bored. Charming, cheerful, and adept at presenting herself, she was the life of the party. Men flocked around her, praising her beauty. The crowned courtesan is how she would later be described. Pauline was not known for her strict morals. Soon, the young family moved to Haiti, where Leclerc was involved in suppressing a rebellion. At first, Pauline was furious. She preferred the beautiful Paris. But then she began to see the positives in this exile. Her family was no longer nagging her with lectures, especially her strict brother, and she transformed into a true queen, if not by title, then by opportunity, and she had plenty of money. Pauline began to spend lavishly and with great pleasure, charming the men around her. "She is capricious and devoid of moral principles," remarked a relative of Leclerc. Did Leclerc know about her infidelities? Probably, yes. Even Napoleon heard about it from France. But the general had other concerns. His harshness in Haiti made him despised by the local population. In the early years of the 19th century, Leclerc fell ill with yellow fever and died. Whispers circulated that witches had settled scores with him. While that's unlikely, many French were dying on the island due to the fever. The 22-year-old widow surprised everyone with her reaction. The deathly pale Pauline, even more beautiful than ever in her black silk dress, cut her hair and laid it on Leclerc's chest before the coffin was closed. Standing tall and wiping away her tears, Pauline Bonaparte ordered that the general's remains be transported back to France. She herself left immediately. But Pauline's character wasn't one to dwell in grief for long. Back in Paris, the beauty resumed her lively and carefree lifestyle. Her brother would occasionally summon her to scold her for her latest mischief. Yet, she was forgiven every time, like a beloved child. Still, this child needed some guidance, so they rushed to marry her off again, this time to the Italian Prince Camillo Borghese. Princess Borghese moved often, from Rome to the Château de Neuilly, then to Paris. Soon, she experienced great sorrow when her only son, Dermot, passed away. The boy had always been in poor health, and his condition worsened when Camillo Borghese persuaded his wife to go away for mineral waters. The prince concealed the news of Dermot's death from Pauline, and she found out only several days later. The cries of the heartbroken mother echoed throughout the neighborhood. "You are a monster. Get out." From that point on, the couple lived separately. Pauline was so devastated by her loss that she seriously considered entering a convent, and it was only Napoleon's intervention that changed her mind. In that same unfortunate year, just months before Dermot's death, Pauline posed for the sculptor Antonio Canova as Venus. From then on, she would be referred to as the Venus of the Empire. There's a version that the sculptor suggested portraying her in another role as the goddess Diana, but the princess merely scoffed at the idea. "No one would believe in my chastity," she remarked. "How could I possibly be Diana?" Yet, despite being young, wealthy, and surrounded by admirers, Pauline was not happy. She longed for true love. She hadn't divorced her husband, but she couldn't even bear to see him. And while suitors flocked around her, none could touch her heart. Her relationship with her brother deteriorated. She was not pleased with his marriage to the Austrian princess, even though she had never liked his first wife. Along with her sisters, Pauline referred to Josephine as the old woman behind her back. However, the Austrian princess troubled her even more. First, her brother had completely changed, seemingly forgetting about other women once Maria Louise appeared. Second, the princess was genuine, not with a fabricated title like the Bonapartes, but a true heir of an ancient lineage. She emphasized the difference in her heritage, which irritated Pauline. However, when Napoleon was deposed and many turned against him, it was Pauline who showed real loyalty. She even moved to Elba to be close to her brother. Later, after the 100 Days, Pauline settled in Italy, but her time was limited. She died at the age of 44, likely from cancer. In history, she remains known as the Imperial Venus, forever young and incredibly beautiful.